In today's climate, nothing will make you a more accurate or confident shooter than Crimson Trace laser sighting systems. Get the immediate, decisive advantage of the world's only grip-integrated laser sights today. Shoot better. Stay safer. Crimson Trace.
Welcome back to another hour of Tom Gresham's Gun Talk. Now broadcasting on over 200 great radio stations across America. The #1 national voice in defense of your Second Amendment rights. To be on the air with Tom, call us now. 866-825-5486 or 1-TOM-TALK-GUN. Now, here's Tom Gresham.
All right, we're back with you. Tom Gresham, it's Gun Talk. If you'd like to join us, just call us, 866-TALK-GUN, or just dial 1-TOM. That's me, Tom-TALK-GUN. That'll get you in. You can shoot me an email, tom@guntalk.com. You can join us on Twitter. I'm at Gun Talk. And, of course, we have our massive Facebook page. If you'd like to join us over there, a lot of things going on. Just look for Gun Talk on Facebook, and you can find us there as well. A lot of things cooking, a lot of things to talk about. I had an email about 3 hours ago from a listener. He said, I hear you talking about safes all the time. He said, I'm wondering, is there any value to me having a safe? I live alone. I don't have any kids. I don't have any kids coming over. So I'm just trying to, find out if it makes any sense for me. I threw out the question for people. What do you think? I mean, I have my thoughts on it, and I'll share those with you in just a little bit. But joining us to talk about safes in general and a particular promotion in particular, Jamey Skousen is joining us right now from Liberty Safe. Hello, Jamey. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing great, Tom. Good to be here.
Good to be with you. Let's first of all talk about this question that I got from a listener. He says, look, I don't have kids. I don't have little kids coming over and visiting. Do I really need a safe? And that kind of takes us to the whole, what really is the value, the benefit to the owner of having a safe? He's identified one, obviously, is keeping the guns out of the hands of people who shouldn't have them, but there are others.
Oh, yeah, there's no question that in today's world, we're finding that an increase in security is demanded by homeowners. And in fact, we're finding a lot of people are closing safe deposit boxes just simply because they want their valuables closer to home. And when it comes to guns, I tell you, having those locked up, there's just this extra assurance, especially if you're gone most of the day, if you're on vacation. So, yeah, there's all kinds of benefits to having a safe from security standpoint, but then there's also fire protection as well.
Well, it's funny. I mentioned those two things to him in my note. I said, look, there's fire protection, and people they kind of don't think about that as much. But there's another thing that people don't actually say out loud very much, and it's interesting. I guess I kind of knew about this before I got a safe, but when I got my first safe, then it really hit home with me, is that there is a different feeling when you leave the house and you know that your guns and your valuables are locked up in a good safe. It used to be when I would leave town, I'd be out of town for a few days, I would really worry that, what if somebody breaks in and they just simply take all my guns and they're just all gone when I get back? How horrible that would be. And then when I got a safe, I just don't think about that anymore. There's a peace of mind that comes from that.
Yeah, actually, there's an adage that one of our retailers uses, that with rights come responsibilities. And in today's world, there's probably half the states that actually have laws that state some responsibility on the part of the owner if they do get stolen and the gun's used in a crime. So that certainly makes sense to lock it up from that standpoint. But, the traditional way that we used to hide the guns in the closet or up in the attic or in between the mattress, we've got the solutions now that allow quick access, readily available, the security that you need, and particularly when you go on vacation or you're at work, to know that you're protected that way, and securing your firearms is critical. I would also suggest the old the old traditional way, how we used to display the guns were in those glass cabinets, and it was fun to have your friends come over and show off your guns. Well, now people show off their safe, and then they open it up and show their guns. So.
It's so true. People go, oh, man, that's a great safe. And then, of course, you open it up, it's like the music starts, dun, 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 dun. You open the safe up, and the light comes on, and you go, oh, man, that is so cool. So there's a factor there, too. But, yeah, we ought to talk for a second about, you mentioned the quick access. We're not talking about the great big safes, but now you now have the smaller handgun safes, or vaults, I guess would probably be a better way to say it, the kind that will keep it away from kids and that kind of thing, but you can still get your gun fairly quickly, right?
Yeah, and I'll tell you, all you have to do is go to our website, libertysafe.com. We've got a link there that's called Handgun Vaults. The nice thing is we've got both of them on sale between now and Father's Day, so between now and June 21st. You can save $40 on the HDX 150, which is the sleek one. It's less than 2 inches tall. It works perfect for under the bed or even underneath the car seat in the car. Readily available, can be run on batteries as well as an AC adapter. And so that one's $40 off. And then we got the HDX 250, which is a larger model, front door opening. That one's $50 off, and that's the one that we're running through, the special through your website, where we're giving away 4 of those for the grand prize winners between now and July 3rd. So that's an awesome opportunity to get some extra security.
Okay, all right. You broke the story right here. Yes, we are giving away 4 of these HDX 250s. That's the bigger one. All you have to do is go to GUNTALK.com/win, WIN. You can enter for a chance to win. We're going to pull 4 names out of the hat, give away 4 of these bad boys. So that's pretty cool. I'm looking at the smaller one, the 150. It occurs to me, if you travel, this would not be a bad thing to have with you while you travel.
Oh, it's a great security device. The nice thing about our smart vaults is it's the simple swiping of your finger, and you can actually put up to 15 fingerprints in these vaults. So if one finger's not working, you can always program another one. And when the batteries are hooked up and it's operational, you can get in less than 2 seconds by swiping your finger. When the AC adapter is hooked up, you can get in 1 second.
And you can have more than one person key their fingerprints to this, right?
That is correct. Yeah, in fact, these are even set up like the HDX 150 is set up with a cable lock where you can actually lock it into your vehicle as well as at home. The HDX also comes with a optional bolt-down kit where you can, put it to the floor if you want.
And I'm thinking you could put it to the floor. I could even see, depending on what kind of a nightstand you have, I could see bolting this thing to the the inside drawer of a nightstand. That way you're not worried about somebody just picking the whole thing up and running off with it. Maybe the inside of just anywhere where it would be more difficult to pick it up and run off with it. That's where the cable lock would come in. Yeah,
I think what's important here is a lot of times when people buy a safe, they may put it in the bedroom, but, it's within walking distance, or they may have it in the family room or downstairs. The nice thing about these is these are concealable enough that you can have readily access to these vaults. The quick finger swipe, you're in, you've got your gun, and you're able to, have access to that for possible protection in case you hear somebody snooping around the house.
Well, think about this, Jamey. We talk a lot about these home invasions now, and they don't wait until everybody's asleep all the time. Sometimes they'll kick in the door when people are up watching TV or whatever, and maybe your one gun is back in the bedroom, but with this kind of a rig, you could have a handgun stashed in several different places around the house. but still have it where your guest or kids or somebody else can't get to it, but all you have to do is reach over there, swipe that thing with your fingerprint, and in 2 seconds the door pops open and you have a gun wherever you are. That's one of the things I really like about this concept.
Yeah, and the other nice thing is with the biometric technology that we use on our handgun vaults, we have done extensive testing on it. A lot of times people are thinking, oh, it's biometric, it's electronic, what about the fail rate? It's interesting. We have done testing on this where most of the competitive brands have a fail rate of a read fail rate of 1 in 3,000. Our testing came out and showed that we have a fail rate of 1 in 100,000 entries. And it is. Okay. We have found this to be one of the most reliable, if not the most reliable, biometric systems that's available on the handgun vault.
Okay, so right now you got a sale going on until Father's Day. Go to libertysafe.com. But people, right. I'm going to encourage you. These are cool units. You can go to guntalk.com/win, and you can enter for a chance. We're going to give away 4 of the 250, the two handgun vaults. We're to give those away, so you can enter right there. Jamey, this is a cool product, and I'm glad you guys are into this area, because with the name Liberty Safe, which people know for your big safes, it's great to see you doing that for these gun vaults. This is a great idea.
Yeah, in fact, we are running a special, too, starting this Wednesday through Sunday. When you buy our number one selling big gun safes, the Fat Boys, we're throwing in an HDX 250 when they buy it. So there's all kinds of specials going on right now with libertysafe.com, and it's a great way to go for security.
There you go, Jamey. Thank you so much for your help. I appreciate you sorting all that out with me there. Jamey Skousen from Liberty Safe. Check it out. Go to guntalk.com/win. Enter for a chance to win that one. I mean, that's 4 of those going to go away free to somebody, or 4 different people. And also, of course, libertysafe.com for more on the whole line. All right. Question for you. Do you have a safe of any type, any brand? And did it change how you think about security, about your guns? Basically, how do you feel about having your guns in a safe? 866-TALK-GUN.
In the war on terror, fighting crime in the streets, in competition and homes around the world, one name in firearms stands out: Sig Sauer. Our pistols and rifles are renowned for their unfailing performance. This same commitment to excellence can be found in our line of SigTac accessories and the training offered by the Sig Sauer Academy. For unmatched quality, reliability, and innovation when it counts, choose Sig Sauer. Visit sigsauer.com today.
No matter what gun you have, you want it to hit harder, shoot faster and flatter, and be more accurate. You get all that with the ammunition from Double Tap. Double Tap's experts select the best bullets, then load them to higher velocities while keeping safe pressures. Shoot small groups, shoot farther. Use custom hunting loads in your handgun or rifle. Even fire 2 projectiles with 1 shot. DoubleTapAmmo.com. That's DoubleTapAmmo.com.
Attacks happen every day. How will you react? See real people put into real-life criminal attack situations on First Person Defender. Discover what works and what doesn't. Kidnapping, ATM robbery, home invasion, and other attacks. Learn how to save your life and the lives of your family. Get the entire first season on DVD at shopguntalk.com. Get prepared. Shopguntalk.com.
In the field or on the range, you need a trigger you can trust. For over 60 years, Timney triggers have been trusted by hunters and shooters everywhere. A Timney trigger could mean the difference between a great shot and a miss. Timney triggers are proudly made in the USA and come with a lifetime warranty. To order, go to timneytriggers.com. That's TIMNEY triggers.com.
right, welcome back to Gun Talk. 866-TALK-GUN, or just dial 1-TALK-GUN. Blah. Can't do that. 1-TOM-TALK-GUN. That'll get you in there. We've got several people who have called in. We sure can take your calls. If you are someone who's either thought about buying a safe or has purchased a safe, love to know your thoughts on that. We've talked a good bit about these home invasions. There seem to be a lot more of them. And I don't think it's just more coverage of them. I think there are a lot more of them. Had one last week. I actually sent a tweet out about. It was very disturbing, and it's actually kind of a disturbing concept to contemplate. But my point on this was this, linking to the story, is why anybody who kicks in my door will be shot, regardless of what they're wearing. These guys kicked in the door for a home invasion wearing SWAT, shirts on. They were the bad guys, but their shirts said SWAT on them. My attitude is, if the police want to talk to me, all they have to do is ring the doorbell. I will come to the door. There's no need to kick in the door. So I will assume that anybody kicking in the door of my house is a bad guy, and will respond accordingly until we work it out. Yes, that would be a very, very ugly situation. I get it. I understand. At the same time, more and more and more stories are coming out of home invasions with the bad guys wearing fake police uniforms, that type of thing. It's just ugly. Line 2, Tim's with us, Carson City, Nevada. Tim, talk to me about campus carry.
Hey, Tom. Hey, I have 2 quick points about that. Our legislature just ended here recently. They meet every 2 years, and our campus carry bill went down to defeat. And I think the bigger issue, though, even though we have Republican majorities in the Assembly and the Senate, the bigger issue, I think, is that Brian Sandoval, the governor, did not want to sign it. And so I think the back channel communications were, from his point of view, to kill it, so he wouldn't have to be put in a position to sign it. And I think the reason I bring that up, too, is I'm worried because he has a lot of powerful backing to run for Senate, and he might take Harry Reid's seat. So I'm not really clear on his true gun rights beliefs. I mean, he can always, put a great face forward and that, he's pro-gun and this and that, but I doubt it. I have growing doubts.
I understand. You had a point about we're telling people that they can't carry on campuses, or they're upset about people who are 21 years old and have permits, and yet what's the deal about you could join the military at 17, right?
That's right. In fact, I signed up. My parents had to sign up, sign me off to get into the Air Force, and I was 18 years old with an M16, 180 rounds of ammunition, guarding, atomic weapons, 8 hours a day, 6 days a week. So this whole issue of juvenile irresponsibility, I think, is a red herring. And frankly, if you're talking about 21 years or older, you think about the number of vets who come back who are going to college now. That's a terrific resource, and it's squandered. Yeah, it really is. And as more and more states look at this, and I know that campus carry is being defeated in a lot of states, but it's kind of like, and Tim, look, I appreciate the call. It's kind of like when concealed carry was first introduced. It really came out of Florida 25 plus years ago. And a lot of states introduced concealed carry laws, and it got defeated, and it got defeated, and it got defeated. And it took 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 times to finally it got there. And that's what's going to happen with campus carry. Because if these are state universities, then you should not be prohibited from carrying your firearm, in my opinion, with or without a permit on college campuses. We're going to get there. It's happening right now in Texas. It's going to happen in other places. The conversation, and that's the key, is the people who oppose it have to say the dumbest things to oppose it. Because there's nothing smart that you can say that makes any sense to oppose it. It's, frat parties and keggers, and
I'm sorry. All this says, all campus carry says, is people who are already carrying guns all over town, right next to you in the stores, walking past you in parks, behaving and not doing anything wrong, which is why you don't know about them, will be able to cross this invisible line onto a campus or go into a building and conduct themselves in exactly the same law-abiding way they do everywhere else. The crazy people don't really need you to pass a law for them to carry guns onto campus to shoot people, as we have seen. And so, year after year, as this is brought up in legislatures, you're going to find the morons with the PhDs or the presidents of universities who don't have a brain in their head keep saying these dumb things, and the public's going to go, you know, that's not really making a lot of sense. And in state after state, we're going to get campus carry. It's just going to happen because it just makes sense. Let's go to line one. Carl's with us out of Atlanta, Texas. Carl, you're up on Gun Talk.
Yeah, Tom, you know, sometime back you mentioned that for your personal carry gun, a person should use off-the-shelf ammo. Well, what about one of those pistols you mentioned a while ago that's off-the-shelf that has the pre-threaded barrel? What if you're carrying one of those and your defensive carry gun, and God forbid you have to use it, and you have a prosecutor or a persecutor, waving that thing around as Exhibit A with the threaded barrel?
Right.
How would that look?
It's a good question. You know, would it make the defense more difficult? It could. In this case, I would think this is where you might want to make sure you have a good lawyer. You want to have a good lawyer who understands getting good expert witnesses who would say, does nothing. All this does is allow you to put a sound modifier, a muffler on it. Didn't have one on there at the time. And then otherwise it was a good shoot. It's kind of like, yeah, okay, we've dealt with that. It's not a big deal. Doesn't mean, look, nothing you do is going to guarantee that an offensive prosecutor can't go after you and try stuff like that. That's why you need to be studied up on this. You really need to be a student of all of this. And, of course, you need to have a good lawyer if you get into a self-defense shooting. That's kind of the other self-defense mechanism. You have to have it work for you.
Now broadcasting nationwide on radio, via satellite, and through downloads, iTunes, the Gun Talk app, and other podcast clients. You're listening to Gun Talk with Tom Gresham.
Back with you, 866-TALK-GUN. I'm Tom Gresham. Basically, we're open lines now. If there's something you want to talk about, if it has to do with firearms or ammunition or scopes or optics or sights or slings or gun cases or safes or shooting or techniques or how to be a better shot, love talking about that. How to be a better shot. How can I hit what I'm aiming at? Rifle, handgun, shotgun. If you have a question, give me a call. Weirdly enough, we're actually able to diagnose a lot of stuff, believe it or not, right here on the radio without seeing you shoot. It's amazing. If you go describe it, we can pretty much figure out, or take a pretty good guess at it anyway. I'll take a swing at it. 866-TALK-GUN. Russell's on line 3 out of Wichita. Hey, Russell, what the heck is going on with your gun?
Well, thank you for taking my call. I just wanted to say there are 3 things that a person needs to know if they're interested in the North American 22 Magnum Mini revolver, and that is if you shoot at a paper target even 10 feet away, the bullet can make 2 holes because sometimes the jackets will separate off of some of the ammunition. Okay. Also, there's 2 more things that I wanted to say. The pressure on some of the 22 Magnum ammunition is so high that it can push the case back against the recoil shield, and it will jam the cylinder and prevent it from turning. Oh yeah.
Okay. Have you? Now, I've never had the 2 holes thing happen. Does that only happen with one particular brand of ammo?
No, it doesn't. I have shot a lot of various types of ammunition, and I've had it happen with some of the Winchester 40 grain ammunition, and I've had it happen with some of the, I think it's the CCI ammunition that has the 33 grain bullet in it, that has the little pointed bullet on it. Mm-hmm. You know which one I'm talking about?
Now, the question for you, does this happen on every round of that ammo,
not.
or is it? Now, where I'm going with this is there perhaps an issue with the timing on that revolver, or even with a particular chamber in the cylinder?
No, it is not. All 5 chambers in the little guns match up just perfect, and it is a case that like just a few days ago I was shooting mine, and even at 10 feet I fired 10 shots with Winchester ammunition, and 3 of the 10 shots, the case separated from, the jacket separated from the bullet. So this is something yes, and it is, so if a person was in a self-defense situation, this would be a real surprise. So
once again, it's a great example of why we need to test our ammo in a particular gun, whatever we're going to use for self-defense, and not just once or twice, but actually shoot it a fair amount to find out what it does, right?
Absolutely, because that brings up my third point, is that some of the ammunition, you need to make sure that it will drop into the chamber and drop out of the chamber by its own weight. Because if you have to push the ammunition into the chamber, even with just thumb pressure, it may not seat completely enough so that when the hammer hits it, that it will fire. Because the mainspring does not have enough pressure to seat the shell and to fire it at the same time.
Right, because it's a little gun. You don't have a whole lot working for you. You don't have a lot of mass working for you. And you make a great point. If it won't go in all the way easily, then you need to polish out that chamber or do something to that. As far as taking them out, it's not a fast speed reload gun anyway. But look, I appreciate that information. That is, Russell, thank you. That is really good info, and I appreciate that so much. Let me talk to Steve on line 4. He's in California. Hey, Steve, you got a range report for us?
Yes, Tom. Smith & Wesson M&P Shield in 9mm.
Yeah?
I live in San Diego. I'm covered by the Peruta decision. I don't have a small one. I looked in my safe. Everything's a full size. I was hopeful I might need a carry piece, so I got one of those. The range report is I've got to change the way that I shoot it. With all my full sizes, that lever on the side of the gun, is that a slide stop or a slide release? As a slide stop, it works just fine, but as a slide release, it's kind of tough to get a hold of. I've got to push that one down with 2 thumbs.
Let me ask you, now, do you have the shield that has the thumb safety or does not have the thumb safety?
It does have the thumb safety. In California, that was probably no option.
That's right. You have to have them the safety. So what's going on with the slide release? It's you say it will hold the slide back, but it's really hard to push it down to drop the slide?
Correct. With all the full sizes, when I press down with my thumb, the slide will go forward. But with this one, I've got to change the way I've got to rack it with my hand. I've got to reach over the slide, pull the slide back to get it to release. Because I can't press the slide stop down with one thumb. It's got to be 2 thumbs.
Well, I will tell you, when you go to most of the gunfighting schools, they will teach you to never use the slide stop, the slide release lever, to drop the slide anyway. You always rack the slide back and then let go of it to drop the slide forward. Because what that does is that is going to set you up for, if you have a malfunction, then you're going to do a tap rack. And so you're always dropping the slide the same way. I never, ever use the slide stop to drop a slide. I'd probably have it in 15 years on any gun.
Okay.
So I understand what you're saying, and you got a lot of spring pressure holding that back on these small guns. But from my standpoint, when I need to drop the slide, I'm shooting right-handed. I'm holding the gun in my right hand. My left hand goes over the top of the slide, thumb pointing back at my right shoulder. I finger straight on my right hand, rack the slide back and let go of it. Don't let it ride forward, and just let go of it and let it go forward. And that's whether the gun is empty, whether I'm loading it, no matter what. That's how I always drop the slide. So that's just my thing. But I appreciate that. But those shields are really nice guns. They have good triggers on them. I got to talk to Don here. This is very interesting. Line 2 out of New York. Hey, Don.
Hi, Tom. Thanks for taking my call. In New York State, this happened to me a few years ago. I went to my local bank. I had a couple of handguns that I wanted to put in a safety deposit box. And it could only be in my name. It couldn't be in my wife's name. It could only be in one person's name. Now, this may be just New York. And so if I was to pass away, I asked the bank, I said, well, who's the first one that gets in the safety deposit box if my wife can? And the bank told me it's a banking law, the IRS. So that would really dovetail pretty good with when Liberty Safe said that some of the people are, instead of using safety deposit boxes, using the Liberty Safes at home for that purpose.
Absolutely. Now, I have heard, I don't know if this is true, I have heard some fairly knowledgeable people say, look, if your spouse dies, the first thing to do is to go to the bank, empty out your safe deposit box, and get a large amount of money out of your joint account because it may get shut down or frozen. I don't know if that's true. Don't know if that's a state-by-state deal, but I have heard that. But in your case, in New York, if the guns are in your name, and the state could actually come in and take those guns because the person who has the permit doesn't have them, isn't available anymore, and they will confiscate. In fact, they do that right now. They will confiscate those guns. Once again, explaining to us why registration is always confiscation. If they're not registered, they can't confiscate them. It's just pretty much as simple as that. Be right back in a minute with more Gun Talk. If you're looking for a safe and trusted way to sell your firearms, look no further than Dury's Gun Shop. I trusted them to sell my dad's collection. They built their business for over 50 years on honesty and customer service. Dury's Guns will buy any size collection or estate, none too big or too small. Selling your firearms to Dury's Guns is easy. Go with the pros. I trust Dury's Guns. DurysGuns.com.
Are you looking for a place to shoot? The National Shooting Sports Foundation has a great website called wheretoshoot.org. It's the largest database of shooting ranges on the internet. It's also a great resource for shooters where you can find video tips, printable targets, and a lot more. Find it online at wheretoshoot.org. And while you're there, download their free iPhone app. That's wheretoshoot.org.
You got your carry permit, and that's good. But you know you could use more training. Get the DVDs, which have what you need. Springfield Armory presents Concealed Carry 1 and Concealed Carry 2 with Battle Group. Learn specific concealed carry skills from Top Gun fighting trainers. Get trained. Be prepared. This really is life and death. ShopGunTalk.com. That's ShopGunTalk.com.
The Black Hills. There's nothing like it on Earth. The kind of place where characters become legends. Wild Bill Hickok, Crazy Horse, Calamity Jane. Pick any part of the world and you'll find people go there to make it their own. But this is where people come to get made. This is the place that made the people who make the best ammo on Earth. Black Hills Ammunition.
All right, back with you. 866-TALK-GUN. Line 1, Lou's with us out of Texas. Hey, Lou, what's your experience here with campus carry?
Well, whenever I was 25, I was in a local community college here in Farrington, and ended up I got, for speech class, I wanted to do a speech over gun laws and gun regulation, and I had a concealed carry at the time, and I got approval from the dean of the college, and to do my speech, and I wanted to do it with my concealed handguns, and I told him which guns I wanted to carry to in the shirt holster, and I ended up sitting through the whole class and ended up doing the speech, and then at the end of the speech, I pulled out two 5-inch barrel Springfield XD. One was a 45 and one was a 9, and being the oldest one in class, everybody in class was pretty shocked that they couldn't tell that I had two guns.
Interesting. How long ago was this?
About 6 years ago.
So you got the permission of the dean to do this. A lot of places, of course, the dean wouldn't buy in on that. But it's a great example of, and I appreciate what you did. And, you know, you're basically educating people as to the ability of good people to carry, and it would be unobtrusive. And people say, well, it'll be intimidating. No, actually, you'll never know about it. That's the whole thing. You'll not know about it. I appreciate the call, sir. By the way, the other thing that happened in Texas, I did not mention this, is, yes, they passed the concealed carry. They also passed open carry in Texas, but you have to have a concealed carry permit to open carry. So that's going to be interesting. Now, of course, there are the competing open carry advocates, the groups in Texas who've been at this. Some are going to say, yes, it's a victory. Some have already proclaimed it's a loss because it's not total. Some are saying, see, we told you that all of our our efforts have been rewarded, and now we're getting open carry. Others say, well, yeah, but if you guys hadn't been doing this and goofing everything up, we would have had this a few years ago. It'll be interesting to see how this all develops. But unfortunately, the turf wars will not end, and the egos will not subside. Line 3, Doyle, Aztec, New Mexico. Hey, Doyle, you thinking about building a gun? Maybe he is building a gun. Hey, Doyle, you there?
Yeah, I am in a hailstorm, and I'm going to pull off the road here.
Oh, my
I have
God.
a question.
Wait a minute, Doyle. Take it easy there. Pull off the road for a second here, guy, before we get in. I don't want to have a sound of you getting into a wreck here. You know, it's weird. I thought, is he in a hailstorm? Doyle, you there?
Yeah. Making lots of noise. A friend of mine has just started building a rifle from a kit.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand there are all different levels of from boring your own barrel to buying something that's 80% complete, maybe just missing a few screw holes or something like that, and building it yourself. And it sounds intriguing, and I was wondering if you have any thoughts on building your own guns.
Sure. You're talking about building, I'm thinking specifically of an AR-15. That's the one that people want to do the most with, the AR-15. There's a website called, it's titled AR-15builder.com. It's AR-15builder.com, and it's from the folks at Brownells. And you can basically just drag and drop all the parts you need to build your gun, and it will build a shipping list, and you can just buy the whole thing. They'll ship it all to you, and you can assemble it. There are some real advantages to building your own AR. There could be some disadvantages if you don't really know what you're doing, but now you can find lots and lots of videos online on how to do it. The Brownells folks, brownells.com, BROWNELLS. They have lots of videos on this, and their website, AR15builder.com, has lots of information on how to do it. One of the things you can do, and this is what's really nice about this, is, it's a great point. The website does catch incompatibilities. If you try to put two parts together on a gun and they know it's not going to work, they're not going to let you do that, which is great. Now you're not buying the wrong stuff that won't go together. But when you build your own, you can select, you can upgrade it as you go along. I guess that's where I was going with this. You can upgrade your gun rather than buying stock parts from a manufacturer. You can say, well, I'm going to get the upgraded bolt or the bolt carrier, or I want this stock and I want this grip and I want this whatever. And you can put it all together. But it's a little bit more than we can go into right here, but I would suggest you start at this website, AR15, and it's AR15, AR15builder.com, and that, I think, will really, really help you out. Tell you what, when we come back, we're going to be talking to Ben. We got Bill, but we do have room for you right now if you'd like to join us, 866-TALK-GUN. We're going to be talking about holsters for your gun, trap shooting. Here's one I like, something that people don't think about much. Recoil, can it affect your eyes over the years of shooting? Pretty interesting. We'll be right back with more Gun Talk. right, Ben's with us from Baton Rouge, Louisiana on line 4. Hello, Ben. What you looking for here?
Well, I wanted to brag a little bit about this holster I picked up for my M&P Shield in 9mm.
Okay.
I transitioned from a Ruger SR9 to full size. I was carrying that every day, and it was just a little too big when seated position or driving, etc. Mm-hmm. So I started looking for something compact and picked up this Shield. And, you know, I love to shoot the thing, but I couldn't find a holster that really cut down on the bulk. And, you know, I didn't want the same problem I had with the full size. So I found this little, it's called a sticky holster. And what it is, it's it's a pocket holster, or you can fit it there in your waistband at either the appendix carry or the 4 o'clock position. And it doesn't have a clip or anything on it at all. It's just based completely on the friction that your belt provides. And I really just love the thing. I don't notice it. I tell you, I just drove. I'm living in Arizona right now from Louisiana originally. I just drove home 1,000 miles and carried the thing all day, and it didn't bother me in the slightest. And I know a lot of people never heard of the Sticky brand before, and just wanted to give them a thumbs up and tell them I really like their product.
Well, excellent. We are just looking at it right now at stickyholsters.com. Got a lot of pictures, a lot of things. In fact, the crew here in the studio was talking. They were telling me about this about a month or so ago. So looks intriguing. And, you know, we're always, every single one of us is always looking for the next holster that's a little bit better, a little bit more comfortable, or, you know, frankly, not just to replace, but to augment, because you say, in this style of dress, I need this, but I'm wearing some different clothes and I may need a different holster. So Sticky Holsters. Thanks for the range report on that, but I appreciate it. Let's see. Bruce is in, let's see. Do we go into, no, wait. I'm sorry. I got to go to Bill on line 2 in Portland, Oregon. We got a couple of minutes for Bill. Hey, Bill, how you doing?
Yeah. Hey there, Tom. Good to talk to you. I've been a shooter all my life, and the last 20 years, pistols, air pistols, 22, 38, but I fell in love with trap shooting. Man, I just, being outdoors, doing that, a lot of good suppliers. And then I've had some trouble more recently with some retinal tears.
Yep.
Ophthalmologists don't know. Search on the internet, can't find anything. I get a little anecdotal information from other trap shooters, but I'm wondering if you or anybody in your audience knows if there's any correlation between heavy recoil, and a lot of it over time, and problems with your eyes.
There most certainly is correlation between a lot of recoil and particularly torn retinas. And people need to be, if you're not familiar with torn retinas, please look it up, and please know the warning signs. If you get flashes of light, if you get something weird with your vision, don't say, I'll look at that tomorrow, or I'll make an appointment with my eye doctor. Call somebody the moment it happens, because you need to get yourself to an eye specialist immediately if you start getting a torn retina. Having said that, people who shoot real big kicking guns are more susceptible to torn retinas. If you are nearsighted, you are more susceptible to torn retinas. Even if you are nearsighted and you've had LASIK surgery to correct it, the shape of your eye is still that football shape, and so that's still more susceptible to torn retinas. If you get more floaters, that type of thing, there's possibly some correlation there. For anyone, do everything you can to reduce recoil. Trap shooting, people have gone to lighter loads. They actually break more targets because of the reduced recoil. They've gone to shock absorber type stocks, use those Edwards recoil reducers in the stocks. Do anything and everything you can to reduce recoil. In every gun you have, whether it's lighter loads or lighter calibers or whatever, it's, anything where it's smacking against your shoulder, it's racking your head back. It's like getting little bitty hits on your head continuously, little bitty, maybe mini concussions almost. Think of it that way. And it's a lot of trauma to your eyes, bouncing those things around. So if you have any kind of issues with possible torn retinas or anything like that, please consider going to lighter recoiling guns. If you've got any information on this, by all means, give me a call right now, 866-TALK-GUN.